Career Mastered Inside Career Success Show. I am Dr. Lisa Wicker. I'm excited that you are with us today. This is our 9th episode, and we're certainly glad that we're able to bring this show to you. It's about women who are in the marketplace doing marvelous things, women who compel themselves to do the business of business, women who lift others up, women who help pave the way for the next generation of leaders. And so today is like the same as always, but fabulous, because we have none other than the Dr. Lisa Newman with us. And so we would like to bring her on to talk with you about Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But just before we do that, as always, I share with you a little bit about Career Mastered Magazine. As you know, Career Mastered Magazine is a quarterly publication that has been on the market shelf since 2018, launching in New York, Detroit, and Charlotte. And now we have expanded the brand globally to advance women's leadership. And today we are talking to a leader in her field, in her industry, but we also talk with men allies. And as we continue with this show, you will see men that will also represent the option and the mission of advancing women's leadership. And so let me introduce you to Dr. Newman. I am definitely not going to try to do it without paper, but I do think this is necessary that we get it all in. So Dr. Newman says that watching the soap opera of General Hospital inspired her to become one of the best physicians and researchers in the world. And that, my friends, she is. Dr. Newman is an internationally renowned breast surgeon and researcher. She is the chief of the section of breast surgery at New York Presbyterian Weill Cornell Medical Center and Weill Cornell Medicine, where she was recruited as a professor of surgery in August of 2018. At the New York Presbyterian David H. Cox Center, Dr. Newman leads a multidisciplinary breast oncology program dedicated to providing individualized, cutting-edge care. She also supervises the breast surgical oncology program of New York Presbyterian Lower Manhattan Hospital. Dr. Newman has also received many awards, but she is an international breast cancer research and trainer based in Weill Cornell Medicine, which involves a network of physicians and facilities in Ghana, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Uganda, Canada, and the Caribbean islands. Dr. Newman has been an expert advisor to various associations, including the Suman G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation. Now, if I have to say anything more, I'm just not sure if we'll have enough room, but I like to tell you that I love her personality. When we first met back in Detroit and she received the Career Master Award in 2016, I just thought that she is genuine as well as approachable and yet an intelligent human being. And so here today, she's going to share with us a little bit about her work. So welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Wicker. That was such a fabulous and extremely generous introduction. And the gracious introduction to me is a perfect example of why your organization is so phenomenal. The way that you empower women and empower all of our work and research efforts is just so unique and very, very important. It's heartwarming to all of us. Thank you for what you do to support us.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for taking the time. I know you're just about to go into surgery, so we don't want to keep you from that important task today. But let's talk a little bit about the fact that I read that Dr. Leslie Weber from General Hospital soap opera, and you know, we all back in the day watched those soap operas, was one of your childhood role models, and that actually worked at you worked at the Massachusetts General Hospital. Is this when you got a glimpse of your future career, the one that you're experiencing this very moment?
Yeah, it's funny that you put it in that perspective. Yeah, so when I was in grade school, watching the soap opera General Hospital with my mom after school was, a bonding moment for us every day. And I was so intrigued with healthcare, what I saw on television, and my mom encouraged me. She said, well, Lisa, you should go for it. Why don't you become a... So I did. And as you know, communities of color are woefully underrepresented in the sciences and in the health professions. We so badly need more African-American, Hispanic, Latinx physicians, researchers. We need to tap into all of that incredible creativity and talent and brilliance that's out there amongst our young people. But because you don't see so many family legacies of just generations and generations that were physicians in these communities of color, we end up getting our motivation and inspiration to pursue careers in the sciences and medicine in, very atypical ways. So my source was from the Soap Opera General Hospital. My life is nothing like Dr. Liz.
I love it. I love it.
But I have never wavered in my adoration for the field and my pride in the field. And as you mentioned, fast forwarding to when I was in college, going to school at Harvard, I had wonderful opportunities to be a volunteer at Massachusetts General Hospital. And that just strengthened my resolve to pursue a career in medicine. It's a wonderful, wonderful field. And I hope that all of the young members of your viewing audience take my words to heart and understand what a gratifying career you can have if you pursue work in the sciences and in healthcare. And I think that we, as individuals of color, have unique perspectives that will allow us to address healthcare disparities, certainly cancer disparities, in a very meaningful way. So we are needed in the field.
Well, you tell me, you talk about the sciences and the fact that STEM is something that we don't traditionally see many of our African Americans or women of color, period, that have risen in the field. But one thing that you said that I think is very important is that you're honored to wake up every morning to come to your job because you love it. Now, a lot of people don't love their jobs. Tell us why you love your job.
It is true. Every day I feel that I have the best job in the world. And my professional career has spanned over different aspects of surgery. When I first finished my training, I was a practicing general surgeon, so taking care of cancer patients, non-cancer patients, trauma patients, a whole variety of different surgical conditions. I loved that. While I was in Brooklyn, I started becoming very intrigued by a lot of the breast cancer disparities that I was seeing in my general patient population in my own office, with Black women presenting with breast cancer at younger ages, having the more aggressive cancers. And that's what inspired me to kind of retool my career and go into surgical breast oncology. And as my surgical breast oncology career developed, I generated more interest in research and so obtained my Master's of Public Health at Harvard. Wow. The point being that you should always follow your heart, and if something is taking you in a novel direction, follow your gut, because as long as you continue to pursue goals that challenge you and goals that you find rewarding, you too will wake up every day feeling that you have the best job in the world.
I love it. I love it. And to know that you're making an impact in this world. Did you ever realize that you would be making an impact around the world the way you are today? I mean, we dream a lot about things we want to do, but you're actually getting the chance to make an impact on the world. When did you realize you had a voice to do that?
No, well, I certainly hope you're correct. My career has been incredibly rewarding, and I've been blessed with many, many advantages and opportunities to pursue the career in the direction that I wanted it to take. Yeah. My career does now involve international breast cancer research, where I have research partners in different countries across the continent of Africa. So I'm loving seeing your global map behind you in your office there, Dr. Wicker. I have many fabulous research partners across the continent of Africa. And through these research partnerships, we've been studying the genetic links between African heritage and the likelihood of getting certain patterns of breast cancer, in particular, a pattern called triple negative breast cancer. And triple negative breast cancer is a particular pattern of the disease that tends to be more aggressive. And we see it twice as commonly among African American women compared to white American women. And our international research is now showing that this increased risk of these aggressive tumors is indeed linked to our African heritage, and in particular, our Western Sub-Saharan African heritage, because that's where the slave trade came from. Yeah. Our as African Americans largely came from the Western Sub-Saharan African coast, and we see very high frequencies of triple negative breast cancer in that part of the continent. And it's related to some of the genetic markers that we've been identifying. So it has been extremely gratifying to do this work, and I am very optimistic that ongoing efforts in this area will lead to better ways of detecting breast cancer in women at high risk for triple negative disease, and hopefully it will ultimately lead to better treatments for breast cancer in diverse populations.
Wow. We could talk forever, but I know we are on a time clock here. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about breast cancer. Is it preventable? And I probably know the answer to that, but we have an audience. I want to talk about, is there a vaccine to reduce the risk of breast cancer, or is there some way to prevent it?
Yeah. So unfortunately, we do not have a vaccine for breast cancer at this point in time. There are ways that we can lower our risk of getting breast cancer, and very importantly, ways that we can lower our risk of suffering from the morbidity, the death risks of breast cancer. We can decrease our chances of getting a breast cancer with certain lifestyle activities, following a healthy, balanced diet with lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, avoiding obesity, maintaining a regular exercise schedule. These are all very well-documented ways of lowering the likelihood of developing a diagnosis of breast cancer. It's also important to minimize alcohol intake, because excessive alcohol intake can increase breast cancer risk. For younger women, it's important to nurse the babies after pregnancy, because that will lower breast cancer risk. There are special medications that women can take to lower the risk of breast cancer, but because these medications do have several side effects, we reserve those medications for women that are at very, very high risk of getting breast cancer. For all women, the best way to protect yourself against the life-threatening aspects of breast cancer is with early detection. So you want to be aware of any danger signs of breast cancer, such as a new lump in the breast or in the underarm, a bloody nipple discharge, changes in the skin appearance of the breast. These are all signs that you want to get prompt medical attention to evaluate.
Okay.
It might necessarily mean that you have breast cancer, but you need to get it checked out to be sure of what's going on. And getting those mammograms yearly, starting at age 40, is critically important.
Wow, those are great tips. I tell you what, I'm taking note as well. I think that the one thing I understand is that men can get breast cancer too, and some people are not aware of that. Just to tell us a little about that.
Yeah, we only see male breast cancer in about 0.5% to 1% of all of the breast cancers that we diagnose here in the United States. But interestingly, male breast cancer is more common in the African American community compared to the white American population. Another feature that may well be attributed to some genetic links related to our African ancestry.
Wow. Okay. Well, I tell you what, like I say, we know you have to go to surgery. We thank you very much. I'm going to ask you one question, and that's to leave us with, I know other young women are watching you as a role model. Maybe tell us why you think that role model is important for women to be that. And also, lastly, if you can leave us with one career advice that women would want.
Yeah. Oh boy. So I very passionately advocate in favor of more young women pursuing a career in medicine. I just cannot emphasize strongly enough how important it is that our voices be more forcefully represented in the healthcare field and in the research arena compared to now. Having more of us in the field will strengthen the field, and it will accelerate the pace at which we identify better treatments and cures. And maybe with more women in the field, that will accelerate our ability to reach a vaccine or the perfect prevention for breast cancer, as you inquired about. And on that note, I do want to bring you greetings here from the operating room where I am now.
Oh my gosh.
New York, but I am going to have to head down the hallway now.
Thank you so very much. We appreciate you, and I love you. Thank you, Snap, for being here, and we'll be in touch.
Take care, Dr. Wicker.
Bye now.
Love you.
Love you too. That was the Dr. Lisa Newman. We're excited that she was able to join us today. Although she was headed to surgery, she took out the time just to speak with us just for a moment in between that opportunity of a break. And so we thank her very much. Dr. Newman is one of our special supporters. She is about the business of business and certainly is a role model for many of our young women that may want to go into medicine or into the STEM fields. And so we want to thank her as having been the Career Master Women's History Leadership honoree in 2016. And then she's now in the New York area, was once in the Michigan area, which we met at that time, but we want to just thank her. And then I'd like to say to you that we will see you on our next session live on LinkedIn for the Career Master Inside Career Success Show. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next time.